Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Chairman, thank you for always looking and seeking bipartisan ways to move the committee forward, but more importantly, move the nation forward. As Ranking Member Brady said, this is a common sense, straightforward bill that makes an awful lot of sense. It is both bipartisan and bicameral. I want to not only thank Representative Vern Buchanan, but also Senators Ron Wyden and Bill Cassidy. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Tom Reed and all the work and time and effort we have spent on this as well. I view this as a civics infrastructure bill. Civic infrastructure, I know all members here on both sides of the aisle are aware of the polling data that shows 2/3 of Americans don't even know that there's 3 branches of government. And it's a shame that most Americans never even get to look at their statement with regard to Social Security and how the nation's crown jewel, the nation's #1 insurance program, the nation's #1 anti-poverty program works to their benefit. They also then are not in a position to hold people accountable. And I think that that's the 500 gorilla that's going to continue to be in the room, Mr. Chairman. And I hope all of our colleagues understand and are aware that on our watch, now, not next year, but now, Social Security is in a position now where it will be paying out more money than it is taking in. It's been 50 years since we expanded Social Security. It's been 36 years since we've done anything. And the spotlight is on us as members of Congress. And either we are going to step forward and meet that responsibility straight on, first and foremost by arming people and making sure, as is a part of Social Security 2100, that they have the knowledge of what's in their bill and what they have to do, not only to plan the guarantee that they know they'll receive from Social Security, but also how they sit down with their financial planners and work what great strides were made by the Secure Act and what other steps are moving forward with Butch Lewis. But frankly, at the end of the day, it becomes the guarantee of Social Security that people count on. In fact, 90% of all Americans are in a position where 2/3 of their assets come from Social Security. This is not something new to members on this committee, including the chairman of the committee, Mr. Reed, and Mr. Price, who also know firsthand the importance of Social Security. And so it's on our watch that we have to step up and take responsibility. We don't have to go back to 1929 and remind people of the Great Crash. We only have to go back to 2008 and remind Americans that 90% of all Americans have not recovered their wealth and assets since 2008. In the meantime, yes, we've stepped forward. There's been tax cuts that people have taken credit for. God bless. But when 83% of the people get 1% of the tax cut, and some states are double taxed, and people who are struggling to get by, who sit down at their kitchen table with this very important issue, find themselves saying, we're willing, and all the polling data shows this, we're willing to pay extra for the guarantee, not just for a pension, but for dependent coverage, for spousal coverage, for disability. When our veterans come pleading for the same kind of thing, it's our responsibility. We have actuarial responsibility as a Congress, and there's no turning away from this challenge. The spotlight is on us, and we will either step up and be counted and do what's in the best interest of the American people, or do what so many other Congresses have, kick the can down the road and do nothing. And to do nothing is a 20% cut to Social Security. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I thank Mr. Buchanan for his hard work and effort in this area, and Tom Reed and our two senators that have worked closely on this bicameral and bipartisan legislation.
We thank the gentleman.